What if Minecraft enchanting was more like an upgrade system? Look, we all know Minecraft's RNG system all too well. I mean, that's the reason most people just use slave labor to get all their enchantments. What exhilarating gameplay this is. Now I hear you, this is a sandbox game. You don't have to trade to get good enchantment. You can just use what you got and that's just that. Yeah, sure, but it doesn't mean the best way to enchant your gear needs to be a tediously boring experience. Enchantments are relatively required for progression. Not completely required, of course, but the amount of quality of life that they bring is absolutely incredible. So what if we take the enchanting table and think it more of being an item upgrader? So you take your sword, now you want to do sharpness, you're gonna start at level 1. This makes it so lower levels are automatically more useful because you can upgrade your sword. No, I'm at level 1 now, I can go out, do some other shenanigans, and then you can come back and you can be like, oh well, alright, now I can upgrade my sword to sharpness 2. Now, you might have already noticed, sharpness requires amethyst shards, not enough ingredients. Each enchantment requires a unique ingredient that you have to input to upgrade. So if we go back to, let's go on knockback, you need some pistons. Okay, what about looting? You need some emeralds. So sweeping edge, you got nether quartz, unbreaking, obsidian. Can't show you what smite because you can't put conflicting enchants, of course. This conflicts with sharpness and this conflicts with sharpness as well. I think this encourages more exploration. Not only that, but it also gives some items more uses. How often are you collecting amethyst shards? Come on. You know what? I was kind of debating though, like should sharpness use flint or amethyst? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. Or maybe if it used some other item, I don't know. But enchantments are incredibly powerful. So putting them in a system like this, at least to me, it encourages exploration and to do more, or like to build a farm. I don't know, it's your world. Do something that isn't placing a lecture. Take Fortune 3 for example. 8 diamonds, 23! But you mine 8 diamonds with a normal pickaxe, you're just getting 8. Now if you take a look over on the right, you'll see there are other requirements. First up is the required level. Now this is just required. You can see I'm level 37, the requirement is 6. This is just a requirement, so it will not take 6 levels. What it will take is this experience points cost. What is the experience points? I assume Mojang didn't use experience points as a cost because they're not displayed anywhere. But your experience points is essentially the total amount of XP that you have. For example, I'm level 37, plus I have some extra bits on there. So if I just go in here, I can take a look at my experience points, 2,416. At level 1, you have 7 experience points, and at level 30, you'll have 1,395. The problem with it using levels is it essentially punishes you for being higher than what you need to be. For context, if you were level 30 and something costs 1 level, you were going to spend 107 experience points. Whereas if you're level 1, you're only going to spend 7 points. That is significant. So it just made more sense to use experience points as a cost and just keep level at a requirement. For example, I'm level 13 and this requires level 3. It also requires 80 experience points, but I have 247. When I go to upgrade to efficiency 1, it took 3 levels away from me. Now let's try it whenever I'm let's say I'm level 30, and then let's go upgrade to efficiency 2 now, which it costs 116 points. Now if I upgrade it, and look, it only took 1 level. You're basically no longer punished for being over what is required. I really do like this system, because now I want to get fortune. But, you know, I get fortune 1, I'm like, oh crap, I don't have enough to get fortune 2. It's like, okay, well, I'm stuck with fortune 1 for now. Go to enchant some sharpness, and you're like, not enough power. Oh yeah, right. There's a whole bookshelf thing. So yeah, if I just have a normal enchanting table, no bookshelves around it, and let's say I want to enchant a sword, well, I only get Smite and Bane of Arthropods. Of course that would be the wrong. If I try and enchant like a chest plate, well, I get all the niche protections, huh? And then you got a bow. Okay, we got like power. Oh, you didn't see that. So not only is it upgrading your items, it's upgrading the table too. Let's place like 1 bookshelf. Maybe let's put some this and, oh, there's sharpness. But then like you saw, we can't go to sharpness 2. If I put this in, not enough power. See if 2 bookshelves? 2 bookshelves for sharpness 2? No, not enough power. Oh, but we did unlock unbreaking. So at this point, you're definitely gonna want a good bookshelf layout, because otherwise, you're not gonna get access to all of the enchants. Wait, but what about enchanted books? Because like, can't plop them in there. You can't enchant books anymore in the enchanting table. Where does that all fit in? Well, if you go ahead and take like an armor piece or tool, whatever, and then you take an enchanted book, you can just like a little bit. You place your enchanted book, and now you got a little different layout. This does require the same level, and it costs the same amount of XP as if you were to upgrade it normally. However, there is no lapis cost, and there is no extra ingredient. Applying enchanted books, they'll just allow you to skip those extra ingredients, and now you got protection 3. And of course, if you put a protection 3, whoa, what the heck? And of course, if I take another protection 3 book, so upgrading it, you'll get protection 4, and you're gonna pay the 4 cost. You can still upgrade that way. This does make enchanted books a lot more rare. I mean, you can't get them yourself. You can't manually make them. You just have to find them out in the world or trade them. Oh, and what about these custom enchants? Burning thorns. But fire? Okay, so custom blaze rods. Let's get level 1. And then let's get level 2. What? Not enough power. How can this be? I have the max level enchanting. You can't get better than this, huh? Well, don't fret, because that is where chiseled bookshelves come in. If you place a chiseled bookshelf, just like a bookshelf, by itself, it's gonna do nothing. But if you take an enchanted book, it will increase the power, depending on how many enchanted books and what level they are. If I put in a sharpness 3, it's gonna do less than if I put in a sharpness 5. Now, filling up a full chiseled bookshelf with max level enchantments, this will basically allow you to get 6 times as much power than one of these. Quite literally, 6 of these can be turned into one of these. So let's see how much power I need. Oh, okay, so there's just 2 of these. Maybe less, like maybe I can take a few of these out and then we can put it in. Yeah, okay. Ooh, that's brutal. Although the exact numbers and costs could be tweaked and modified, the general concept of this system seems more balanced and less frustrating compared to the vanilla Minecraft, at least to me. But what do you think? Well, guess what? You don't have to think for long, because you can try this all out by joining my newly opened server, uSurvive. It's an overhauled vanilla SMP. You can try this enchanting system among a ton of other features, all made with just server plugins and a resource pack. You don't have to download any mods. Maybe consider joining. uSurvive.net. Would love to see you guys there. The fact that I need to get a certain material to get an enchant that I want, it gives me a goal to achieve. And you know, I think that's something Minecraft could use more of. Because yeah, it does have that mentality of you create your own goals, sandbox and all that. But at the same time, there's a reason the whole 2-week Minecraft phase exists. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. One thing that the enchanting system kind of ties into is trading. I'm not the only one to mention how incredibly broken trading is. Even with the new balancing changes, it is, oh man, it's just bad. In fact, instead of fixing the problem, I removed it completely. It's impossible to obtain emeralds by trading with a villager. You can only buy with emeralds. I don't really know how to fix it, truly. It's a complex issue to tackle, especially because some people like trading the way it is. But disabling trades that gave the player emeralds just seemed like the simplest solution to a complex problem. Now, hold on, because there's a feature you might have noticed that I haven't talked about at all. What is this enchanting capacity? If I go ahead and put in a wooden sword, you will see this enchant usage that each enchant has. Now I'll just show you in prime example. Let's take this, and I'm in creative mode, so I can just enchant freely. But I can enchant knockback 2, tag, you know. Sorry, I got carried away. Well, let's go to looting. As you can see, looting 1 is taking 2 of my capacity. If I go to looting 2, then I go to 4. What this means is I can't get to looting 3. I can because I'm in creative mode, but if I go in survival, look at that. Looting 3 would exceed enchanting capacity. In fact, I actually can't enchant this at all because all of them would exceed. You know, I'm 4/4. So what is this enchanting capacity system supposed to do? The goal of this system is to make you think of what enchantments you want to have on your item. For example, most people, you know, they'll enchant their armor with protection 4, unbreaking 3, and mending. That's generally like good armor. However, if you look here, this takes 4 enchanting capacity. If I upgrade that, then I put on breaking on it. Well, okay, I only have 3 more left if I do this. What about mending? No valid enchants. Why? Well, let's do that in the reverse order. So I'll apply mending first. Oh. I can't have unbreaking 4 and mending at the same time, at least on a diamond piece of armor. No valid enchants. Although I can get protection 3, so mending and protection 3, that works out, but I can't get any more than that. And that is kind of the point. I understand this one's a pretty controversial one, but I do think it adds a little bit level of thinking. Like, You can't just apply all of them good enchants. You have to think, what are you going to apply? If you have a sword, for example, well, I mean, if you have a golden sword, you could pretty much apply whatever you want. uSurvive has some other changes to gold, but that's for a later time. Now, you take a netherite sword, you can get the sharpness 5. See what else? Maybe you can get some unbreaking 3. Alright, I got 4 more slots. I could get fire aspect 2, or I could get looting 2, or you could do both. You could get fire aspect 1. Oh, whoops. Go back and then get looting. I think this also does tie into making lower level enchantments more valuable. Because although it's not the best, I got fire aspect 1 and looting 1. I'm most definitely curious on what you guys think about this. What would you set the enchant usages on each enchant? Or would you even have this system at all? That's it. Farewell.